it's in all the groups.
Got it.
Cool. Ooh, I got a notification. Kathy Kristen is live. You guys follow my YouTube channel.
Got it.
Cool. Ooh, I got a notification. Kathy Kristen is live. It's like a second delayed, you know. Let's see here. All right, let's rock and roll. So today, by the way, is all about, I'm going to show you guys, we're going to review how to get more people to call, you know, just getting more appointments, because obviously that's a huge part of your business. Can we do like, I don't know, put these in lines or something? You guys move in. This is all weird. I have to do this so I can write here. So let's go diagonal. But pull this over here so you guys can use it too, all right? So yeah, keys to getting more people to call and just killer closing sales. All right, I absolutely love doing closing workshops, and we are going to absolutely crush that today. All right, so first thing, in terms of you guys getting more appointments, I want to make sure you guys remember the most important thing is getting more. Oh, you're good. Getting more demos. All right, put that there. Yeah, pull that in, because we can have 3 across here, 3 across there, 3 in the back. Yep, perfect. And you can bring my stuff here. Beautiful. Those watching, we're doing some rearranging, so don't mind us. Dee Dee, scooch over a little bit so Bree can go right there in the corner. And then I don't know whose stuff is this. That's you. All right, cool. Let's do this thing. Nope, that is the office. All right, baby, I don't know if you want this. All right. We keep dress. All right. You guys pull in. Second row here. Bring it in. Oh, you taking that? All right, cool. Let's do this. All right. All eyes on me. Yeah, bring it over here. So as far as getting more appointments, and I want to commend you guys, by the way, on getting up. This right here, like the stuff that I'm going to share with you guys, was so huge to my success, and so I'm really excited, like, to be able to go over this with you guys. By the way, right after leaving on Monday, we saw just a big pop right afterwards, and Maddie hit her first homemaker sale, and we had some other different sets pop. So really excited about that and helping you guys. And today's stuff, I'm going to give you guys like very focused keys to that. So first thing is, I do want to review, and if you guys can pass, they grabbed the wrong ones. Awesome. So if you guys, Alex, can you run over there and say, I need these? They brought me the wrong ones. Or are they right up there? They might be right up there in the corner. Yep, let's do it. Let's pass those out. So first 3 papers you guys are going to see here is just, we talked about this on Monday in terms of getting more appointments. Like the number 1 way to get more sales, obviously, is to have more demos. And so this right here walks through like what examples, all right, for people that it shows, like Facebook posts with you starting off. It has a fast start push week. It has a text message. These are different types of messages, just samples, but it's a message really to your guys' parents to let them know, you know, what's happening. The next page, and so really the first 2 pages are something to actually give to your parents or your aunt or your grandparents. But it goes through anyone who might help you out, you know. But it's like, why should I post? And it goes through. By the way, learning to advertise and build a business through social media is a huge thing to learn. It's something that's a huge asset, and it will really help you guys big time when you're going out into the real world. Because so many like businesses, jobs, you know, networking is done through social media nowadays. And so whether it's LinkedIn, utilizing Facebook, those are 2 huge platforms for business. Instagram, some people use that as a huge platform for their business, you know, getting great at that. The 3rd page goes through something that you guys can have in your book for your demos. All right. So Bradley, go ahead and read that out loud. Top of the 3rd page, please.
Mr. Jones, the next thing I want to talk to you about is really the easy way to build my resume by helping me to use Facebook to network with people that might be interested in Cutco. As you know, more and more businesses are using Facebook, so if you can help me out, it will give me a little background in using Facebook for businesses. All I need you to do is to post on Facebook, letting people know that I came to show you Cutco and that I'm looking for more people like you that would be nice enough to let me come over. We could even post a selfie together right now. Plus, every customer that helps me out by posting to Facebook while I'm here, I'm giving them a free blank
All right. And by the way, you guys could do free peeler. You guys could do, if you say one, again, you get peelers for $5. Cool. So that's up to you. You could say, I'm giving them a free high five. You know, you could say that too. Customers, I'd be like, I'm giving you a free hug, you know, whatever, free high five. Or you could actually give them a piece of Cutco. And that's an easy one, are those vegetable peelers. Then here, guys, it has samples for them. It has sample messages, just so you guys can see the sample messages, just to give them like, just sometimes they don't know what to write, you know? So you're like, oh, here's a couple different examples of what you could say. So yeah, you can start the process. All right. So this right here has a couple different examples that you guys can use. So it has like with a selfie photo. I already own Cutco. I really enjoyed the demo. By the way, what I recommend is tailoring this to you. All right. So I actually made my own sheet, and it had like a sample of what to say. And I had a sample in my notes. So the other day I had you guys put like, you know, a sample in your notes, because when I did a demo, it was in my notes, and all I had to do was copy it, adjust it for that person, whoever I was seeing. And then when they were done with Rex, I would ask them like, hey, do you have, and I'd have it like ready and like to text them. But I'm like, do you have Facebook? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, would you be willing to do a selfie together and put a post sharing that I'm actually working with Cutco, I get paid to do it, whatever. And they're like, yeah, no problem. I'm like, actually, I'll send you a message right now. Like, you could copy paste and adjust it however you want, but at least giving them a foundation of what to post, what I wanted them to post. And the basics, no matter what the message is, you always want to have is, I get paid just to do it. There's no obligation. Really helps me out towards my contest. All right. By the way, I am totally going to move you guys around, because I really would love to have it how we had it before, like where it's like 2 long ones and one like that. So we're like a little conference table, so I can see all your beautiful faces. So we can adjust real quick, please, please, please. Move it around. All right. Make sure. Oh yeah, we're moving again. All right. So I want to make sure you guys use that. But Facebook, by the way, it's such a huge resource, especially for your Mac customers. And so I don't want you guys to miss out on that. You guys can open up that. So make sure that that's happening. By the way, another thing for you guys, there is in your manual, if you guys look in your manual, can I steal yours, Bradley? So swing this one over to open it up that way. All right. Yeah, and you guys pull up. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So if you guys look in your manual, another thing is getting friends' parents' numbers. All right. Perfect. Yep. Boom. You can do it. You can do it, Dee Dee. Yeah, pull it up. All right. You're golden. So this right here, calling friends for parents numbers, which is page 31. All right. Oh, now I can see you all. I love it. All right. So this right here is huge, and it goes through. You can do it over phone call. Some of you guys might be doing this over social media, you know, whatever it is. We want to make sure you guys have what to say. Keep it simple, cool? With people that you know really well, with people who you know the parents, you don't need to like go into, you could just, if you know the parents super well personally, you could just say, yo, what's your mom's cell? I need to ask her a quick question for something I'm working on, you know, and keep it simple. If you don't have, as you know, like you don't have a personal relationship with the parents, page 31 is definitely what to utilize there. All right. And Alex, do you have your manual? Open to page 31 so you can read that out loud for me, please. All right. So first thing it has here is if you don't have their number, you can message them on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat, right? And you can message them and just say, yo, hope all is well. By the way, if you're doing it on Snapchat, you can do a quick little video, right? You're like, yo, I hope you're doing well. I have a really quick question. Too long to go through here. I'm like, just what's your cell so I could give you a call, you know, or you could just take a picture and just write that on the picture that you send them and say, yo, what's your cell? And then you can actually have a conversation with them. Go ahead and read out loud.
Hey, Mrs. Jones, I need you to do me a quick favor. I'm calling all of my friends right now. I started this new job and I'm in this huge contest during the scholarship. All I have to do is this really quick presentation for people and get their opinion on something. It's pretty easy to do, but I have to see people that are over 30 and own a home. I was thinking your parents fit that description. I have to actually call them and ask them personally about it. Even if they're too busy to do it, that's fine. It helps me just to call them and ask them about it. So who's easier to talk to, your mom or your dad? Cool. Let me know. Let me get his number real quick, or her number. It would really help me out. Thanks a lot.
Cool.
Okay, I gotta go, but I really appreciate it.
And for anyone who's not a student, like I did this when I was not a student, we have a lot of Cutco sales professionals that do this job for a living, and they're not students. Anytime there's the word scholarship, you just replace it with contest. Cool? There's always contests, there's always competitions, or your goal. You're like, hey, it really helps me out towards my goal. Really helps me out towards this contest. You know, so for anyone who's watching this via, stream, we have obviously a big chunk of students that work with us. We are a national college student work program, but we do have non-students too. All right, Alex, pull a chair for Jesse next to you. All right, so I want to make sure you guys are utilizing that. All right, then in terms of recommendations, are your recommendation binders set up? I would say I would not leave here today without making sure it's set up properly and that you're utilizing it properly. Cool. So at the end of your demo, what it should look like is you flip back to the blue book and you're like, hey, do you remember the sponsorship I told you about in the beginning? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, so I get paid every time I show Cutco, and I can only call people I've been personally recommended to. So what I need you to do while I clean a mess is to jot down 200 to 300 people who might be nice enough to help me out. And I'm not looking for anyone you think would buy, just anyone nice like you to take a look. And so here's how my sponsorship works, all right? And now is where I like to show them the binder, because I show the examples and I go, if you fill out a full sheet like this, you would sign 3 times. Let's say you get to 20, you would sign twice. And even if you only get to 10, like Suzanne, you still sign once. And when I get all 50 of the signatures, that's where I get the $150 award, okay? So do you guys have those signatures? Do you have the recommendation binder? If you haven't, if you want to know exactly how to do that and just rock that part, I have a video that you can watch on my YouTube channel on rocking recommendations, and it shows you the ins and outs. It's 30 to 45-minute explanation of what I just explained in 10 seconds, okay? But it really shows you how to do it the right way to help you maximize your recs. And that is the #1 thing to master before anything else is, can you just be absolutely rock solid and confident with your recommendations and getting the people you want? Because even if your sales are a little bit low at first, if you have a lot of people to see, guess what? You're going to get better with that. I wasn't amazing with my sales at first, but I had tons of people to see, and I just kind of outworked everybody else. But then I got more confidence. I got better with closing. I got my basics down. I went field training, and then my sales and results skyrocketed, but I always had tons of people to see. So that is really, really powerful. All right. And guys, I'm going to walk through right now 5 closing tips, 5 keys to selling every single time and selling big. All right. So you definitely want to take notes on this. And you also want to make sure, and Alex, can you grab some extra packets? So anybody else who does come in late, you could hand them a packet, like Jesse can have one. Just have them next to you. You can be my packet hander. All right. So first thing. All right. So there's 5 keys. #1, all right, is KISS. All right, not kiss your customers, but keep it simple, silly. All right, so you've got to keep it simple. There are 3 keys under this. All right, #1, you've got to follow the manual. I know you guys heard this in training, but it really goes a long way. So what are you doing? When it starts feeling too comfortable and you're just flowing, that's kind of a red flag, because that's sometimes when you stop using your manual, And I think about Taylor St. Laurent, those of you guys who are still here in July, because I know some people are working a shorter program. We have 3 to 12 weeks, that people work during the summer. But those of you who are working the full summer and you're here in July, you'll get to meet Taylor St. Laurent. She just graduated from Ole Miss. This will be her 5th summer with Cutco. She started right out of high school and paid all her undergrad with it. And every summer she comes back, we always sit down. We always look at her goals. And she has her manual from when she first started. She's like, yeah, I will not do a demo without that. And she's won scholarships and been ranked top nationally. And for our competitions, in a 2-week period, has sold $20,000, $30,000, and her biggest 2-week period was $40,000. Okay. And all the while, with her manual, reading her manual. And obviously she puts her personality, has fun with it, but going through her manual to make sure she gets all that proper content to the customers. Cool. So you want to make sure, because that builds the right value. All the facts are in there, and we want to see you guys do that at the highest level. Okay. So second thing under this point is to cut food. All right. To cut food. So 5 things on every demo. All right. 5 things on every demo. That's a great rule of thumb. Or if you're doing a virtual, what's awesome on a virtual is that in a virtual demo, the videos are all in there. Who's done a virtual already? Raise your hand if you've done a virtual. All right. A cut food. So cut 5 things. So that was the second thing under keep it simple. Yesterday, Jessie had a lot of stuff going on personally with him, whatever. She booked a virtual demo to do from home. And by the way, sold an essential set, right? So it's a great thing. You could like sit at home on your couch, be in your pajamas, and knock out some great sales, but it has all the videos with the cutting in there. So I love that. When you're on a live demo, you've got to cut food. You got to let them use it, have fun with them, make it interactive, or yeah, you can use the virtual demo, but I love chopping stuff up. So I asked them, hey, is there anything you want to chop up for dinner? Hey, is there anything that you'd want to chop up for snacks for tomorrow, or anything you don't mind chopping up and eating now? Like have them grab stuff out that they normally cut. At any time that I can help personally, I like to do that. And I'm like, hey, boom, done. Cutting prep done. So I cook a lot, and I know that what takes the longest is cutting, like getting everything prepped. So if you can help them with that while you're on a demo, like that's fantastic, so they get 2 things done at once. All right. So make sure to do that. And by the way, when people cut, like I remember, like I don't know that I ever had a no sale when someone actually cut a pineapple. Like when I brought a pineapple over and I'm like, just try this. And they were like, like, yeah, it's amazing. Like I cannot think of a demo that I had a no sale. That's like the guarantee. He's like, you want to have a sale? Bring a pineapple, like they're so impressed at how the products work and how easy it makes everything. So that's really, really great. All right. And the third point under keep it simple is to have fun. All right. And I know we covered these in training, but guys, it's easy to get nervous and to forget to have fun because you're like, oh shit, what did I say? Or like making sure you're not messing up. Like when I was new, I was more nervous than having fun. I was more anxious to like not mess something up than having fun. And I remember my manager saying, Kathy, you have a great personality. Like you have so much fun with people, but I see you like, I feel like you tense up. I'm like, I know, I just like, I don't want to mess up. And he's like, no, mess up royally, having a great time. If you're reading your manual and you're having fun, but you're getting them the right information, even if you read to them, polish the knife, and yeah, you're like, oh shit. Like just laugh it off and have fun with your customers. You're gonna have so much better results. All right. So know that right now. Have a great time. All right. So that was all under the first point of keep it simple. Number 2, tie your customers into your goals. Okay. Tie your customers into your goals. This is really important. So I mentioned this several times, but this is the number 1 thing that I do every summer when Tay comes home. Last summer when Ashley was home, the last 2 summers when she got home from Penn State, we'd sit down, and anytime someone comes back and they're going to sell, the first thing I want to see is I want to see your goals. Cool. I want to see how you share your goals. I want to see your thermometer. Like, what are you working on this summer? And so you should have something. And this was so powerful. I learned this my first event, my first conference. So a week from today, we actually have our season opener divisional team meeting. So we're having our team meeting all together on May 30th at City Center. So we'll have carpools leaving from here, or you can just meet us there, up to you, but it's right off the Beltway and I-10, right? I don't know if you guys know, like near Memorial where City Center is, but we'll have people driving in from Nacogdoches and Palestine or Palestine, however you say it, and Corpus and everywhere. And we'll have 27 offices represented there, and we'll have the best of the best from each office. It's going to be awesome. I love when we get a chance to get everybody together, and you'll get a ton from it, and it'll be cool to meet different people as well. But I remember going to my first event and seeing somebody show how they share their goals, and I was like, wow, and it was really powerful. And guys, have fun with the customers, okay? Have fun with them. If your goal is to sell $5,000 for the week, $10,000 for the week, $20,000 for your 2-week competition, have fun with them. When you share your goal, say, hey, Ms. Jones, my goal is actually this summer I want to win a scholarship, and so every week my goal is to complete 20 appointments. This was me. My goal is to complete 20 appointments every week in order to get that done. To stay on track this week, I actually I want to sell $5,000 this week to stay on track. So if you want to just write me a check for $5,000, that'd be awesome. Then I can just chill at the beach this week. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm like, I'll be working hard. I'm like, but keep a lookout, because if there are like wedding gifts, Father's Day gifts, birthday gifts, anything that you might need, not only are you getting a heck of a product, but it helps me out a ton towards my goals, you know. But just like having fun of like, if you have a goal, you're going for a $10,000 fast start, you're like, hey, if you want to just write me a check for $10,000, that would be awesome. And they're like, oh, really? You're like, yeah, all right. But just have fun with them when you're going through that. So I always like to, so this week, you guys, those of you who are newer, you have your fast start thermometer. Cool. Alex, like those of you guys who have been here and people who are watching, you guys will actually, you have an example. And by the way, when your fast start is over, you're going to use this. Okay. Or you can make your own. All right. You can make your own. But this right here is something that a lot of our guys had in their book. I remember like Billy, he like went crazy with markers on this thing, decorated it, put all the reasons why he is excited for his goal. And think about it. Like, think about those things. Are you wanting to buy a new car? I wanted to buy a car my first summer, which I got to do 3 weeks in. I didn't have a car. So I wanted to buy a car. I wanted to save to go to London. And so I put those things there. And so what happens is when they're real things that you're excited about. So think about, what's the money for? Is it to pay for my school, send my mom on vacation, buy a car, have, you know, like prepay for school, not have to worry about it, whatever the heck it is, putting things that you're excited about, getting a promotion, hooking up your resume, be like, I'm really excited for advancement. You know, that's something I had on mine. And so when you share with your customers, you guys can go, when you're talking about those things, you naturally light up because they're things you're excited about, you know? So when I was with a customer and I turned to this page, even if I was like, kind of like blah, or like it was raining outside, I'm like, and I got there, I was like, oh, so I actually am working really hard to buy a car. I'm like, I don't have a car. I want to study abroad in London. None of my family's ever been able to, you know, do something like that and go travel around the country or to other countries. And you know, all of us kids, like we have to pay for our own college. So really working hard with this for that. But I'm super stoked to be able to like travel and like be able to see like the world and be able to do some cool mission trips and, you know, have the flexibility and have the income to be able to do those things. And they were like, wow, that's great. You know, but if it's things that you're really excited about, it'll light you up when you're talking about it. You know, I would talk about, you know, be like if I'm just like, if I had a kid, I would be talking about like, I'm really excited about this because it allows me to start setting myself up now and also setting up stuff for my son, you know, and putting aside 10% of all my income towards like his college fund for the future. And, you know, being able to have a way to make as much income as like what I put into it. So this job, what I put into it, I get out of it. And that really excites me because in a lot of places I've been limited to like a certain amount of hours, a certain amount of pay. And here it's really up to me. And the more I grow and the more I learn, the more I earn. So that's pretty cool. All right. So I shared those things with customers and they're like, that's awesome. I'm like, so thank you again so much for seeing me today. You know, so my goal is to do 100 appointments this summer or 50 appointments this month or, you know, whatever it is, think about it. So for me, I knew I was working 10 weeks and I was going to be I wanted to do 20 appointments per week. So mine was 200 demos, you know, maybe you do it for each month, maybe you do it for the campaign, but having that so you can say, hey, my goal is to complete this many appointments. All right. So at the end, I'll have you sign my thermometer. And then my goal is to sell this much in sales. So again, keep a lookout. This stuff's way too expensive for you to buy just to be nice, but if you you know, keep a lookout. I'm assuming you didn't put away a couple grand waiting for the knife girl, but I do want to show you why so many people invest in it, like Juliana, Karina, who like they all have Cutco and absolutely love it. This stuff is awesome. They're like, oh, okay. So on here, if you look at my old thermometers, there's signatures all over. You know, if they bought, so let's say this is the sales thermometer, okay? If they bought like, let's say I had my sales, you know, whatever, let's say they bought, I don't know, 300 or more, 500 or more, where I could actually have like a space where you can see a space, you know, I'd have them write their name on there. And so they'd have, you know, whatever, Kathy Kristen. If they bought one thing, I remember I just like make a line like right above it. And like, I just like make a line with the pen and they're like, oh, I feel so bad. I'm like, no, you help me get one step closer. I'm like, you can sign your name on the side. So their names would be here. So I had signatures like all around, and anytime that they bought basically $300 or more, because how I had mine was like about this far for 1K, 2K, they could still write their name in there, but definitely for $500 or more. So they could put their name there, you know, and somebody else, they just put a line, whatever, and you're filling it in. But my paper had signatures all over it. All right. So they signed anywhere on the paper for helping out or in the thermometer with sales. And then every demo, so even if they didn't buy, they would put their initials at the end of the demo. So I'd always make them feel good about having helped me out at the end before I asked for rec. So I'm like, hey, by the way, thank you again so much for doing the appointment. I'm like, go ahead and put your initials here. I do that at the end, and I have a whole workshop on that as well. But they put their initial. And I'm like, all right, awesome. They bought, we'd sign it up. All right. If I had a no sale, I'd say, don't even worry about that. Thank you so much for this. And actually, here's where you can really help me out. It's free. Don't worry. I'm like, I get paid every time I show Cutco, and then I'd go into my recommendations. Okay. So make sure, you know, when you, last thing with this in terms of sharing goals, you know, are you building rapport? Are you really connecting with them? Because people love buying from friends and supporting friends versus being sold by a salesperson. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. By the way, guys, people love to shop. No one likes to be sold, right? Like moms, I love to shop. I don't like anyone trying to sell me, but I love to shop. All right. So can you create an atmosphere where they're comfortable and they're like shopping with a friend, and you're like a friend who's recommending stuff to them, right? You built enough rapport. Like for me, when I'm shopping and I'm like, should I get this? You know, and then my best friend's like, that looks awesome. You should get it. Or like, nah, I don't like that. You know, and like they're able to recommend stuff. Or even in the store, when I build good rapport with somebody who's helping me, I'm like, what do you think? And they're like, I love this. Be like, you know what? I have something better for you. You know, and they'll go grab me something else and be like, try this on, you know. But can you create an atmosphere where they feel like they're shopping with a friend, not being sold by a salesperson? All right. Number 3, drop down slowly. Drop down slowly. I'm going to spend a little time on this one, okay? I want to make sure we do this the right way. So if you guys look at your manual, all right, this is a review. I mean, I'm going to go through it. Can I borrow your blue book, actually, so I can show? Thank you. All right. So when we are on page 9, all right, so we close on the homemaker set, right? There you go. All right. So we close on the homemaker set. And, you know, write down and making sure, you know, we talked about this on Monday, so I'm not going to spend time on this, but when you're closing, are you writing it down, right? So your paper should look like that, where you have 4,000, 3,400, 1,273, and it's crossed out. That's what that should look like, all right? Now, let's say, you know, somebody didn't purchase, then I'm just going to keep going right from there when I drop down. So you, first off, you want to make sure you take your time dropping down. Okay. You want to make sure you never skip a step. All right. Cause that's where you can tumble and fall over. All right. Go one step. So sometimes when you're showing the homemaker, sometimes there they ask, can I buy individual pieces? Or I just want to get pieces. And if they ever ask that on the homemaker, what I know is if they don't get a galley, they almost always ask by the time you're at the end of the galley if they can buy them individually. Okay. Sometimes they ask as you're doing names, do you guys sell them individually? All right. You don't want to be like, no, because you're lying. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, because you're ruining your set sale. All right. The response is actually what's on the bottom of page 10. All right. In your manual that says, of course. If they go, oh, can you buy them? Of course. However, our sets are discounted. They're safer and you get free stuff. If you don't mind, I'll just show you all the sets real quick so you can at least see what we have. If not, you can pick out whatever pieces you want. All right. So that's a sample of what to say. So when someone tells me like, Kat, can I just buy individually? I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, anybody can pick out their own pieces, customize their own set. But I tell them like our pre-made sets are much better value. They're discounted, you get free stuff. It's just more for your money. Is it cool with you if I just show you them real quick? Because you might see something you like, but if not, we'll customize whatever you want. And they're like, yeah, sure. All right. So that way they know I'm like, hey, there's some stuff that's a way better deal. And so they know that. But let me just show you everything real quick and just, you know, that way, you know, maybe you'll see something you like. And if not, we'll definitely customize at the end. They're like, sure. You know, so you guys want to get really good with that because if they ask on the homemaker and then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Show me. Then I'll go to, you know, show them the galley. All right. and go from there. But just take one step at a time. So typically it's not till the galley, but sometimes they ask early. You know, majority of people, it's on page 10 once you've showed them and said, hey, by the way. And so this is, I actually just drop down. I just stay right on this page for the galley, by the way. I don't even drop from this page for the galley. So I stay here. All right. So I just say, hey, by the way, the next set under this is, it's actually our most purchased starter set. It's called our single set. I call it our single set, but it was rated Best Buys by Consumer Digest. So just so you guys know, you could put that in there, but it was rated Best Buys by Consumer Digest. Also, Dr. Phil gave this set to everybody in his audience when he did Cooking Healthy. So you guys could look up on YouTube. You could put Dr. Phil Cutco and you'll see the episode. It's like 30-second clip. But he's like talking about eating healthy and you want to cook more and, you know, like you want to have a good set of knives. Like everyone knows that in the kitchen, you want to have that. And so Cutco is the top stuff. And like everyone in the audience got a galley set. I was like, dang, that was a good episode to be in. He gave everyone a basic galley set. All right. So anyway, so like this right here, there's a set right under this called our galley set. Like it's one Best Buys by Consumer Digest. We call it our singles, and it's really nice. It actually has the air knife, and if you want to review the pieces, I'm like, it has the air knife, it has the trimmer for the small stuff, it has a spatula for the sandwiches, it has a meat knife, it has the serving piece, it has the veggie chopper and the bread knife. All right. If you guys want to make a little note next to the galley on what it doesn't have, and I'll write it on yours. Doesn't have, I'm going to put no butcher, carving set. All right, no butcher, no carving set, no sharpener. All right, and it has 6 instead of 8 table knives. All right. So you're letting them know, hey, this has this. So it doesn't have the butcher. It doesn't have your master carving set. And then instead of 8, it has 6 table knives. Cool. So it's a few less knives for a lot less money. And instead of paying the $12.73, the homemaker or the galley plus 6, and you just show them here, the galley is $9.19. All right. And I always like just write this like this right under. And I'm like, this right here, the deposit would come out to $202. That's what you would put down today. And if you guys kept that on the Easy Pay, you're basically putting aside $50 per week, which would come out to $25 each. Cool. And our basic one comes out to $709. And this right here comes out to $156 per month. If you kept it on the Easy Pay, it's $39 a week. So basically that's $20 each. All right. If you guys got either of these sets today, I could still include the matching kitchen tool set, the entertainer pack, or the super shears for free. Is that something you'd want to get today? Or maybe you say, hey, does that feel more comfortable? Or do you like that one better? I don't care how you ask with a subtle head, not expecting a yes. And you're like, hey, does that work better for you? Or do you guys like that one better? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, would you guys want it in the classic or pearl? Or would you guys want the, and they'll tell you, all right, oh, they'll go, yeah, I don't need all that. And I'm like, hey, no problem. Like I said, you can pick out, or if you haven't said it, you can say, hey, some people like to pick out their pieces and make their own set. And like, we do have some pre-made sets that are a much better deal. They're discounted. You get free stuff. If it's cool with you, I'll just show them all to you real quick. I'll just show them all. So at least you see them. And then if not, we'll customize your perfect, order, whatever you like. Okay. And guys, when I tell them like, oh, I'll just show them all to you, I let them know I'm like, all of these, the deposits are like from like $90 to, I'm like, they're $90 to like 100 and something. I'm like, so they come out to like $22 a week, to like $30 a week. So they're a really nice way to start, and you can even get scissors with them, So anyway, again, just so you go through, show the galley, always ask them. And even if they don't ask about pieces, when I go to transition, I just let them know, hey, by the way, I'm going to show you all of our starter sets real quick. Some people do pick out their own things and customize, but our pre-made ones are a better deal. I always want them to know that. I'm like, you get more for your money. It comes with a storage option. You get free stuff. I'm like, so I'll just show you them so you can see them. I'm like, the deposits are like $90, to like 120. They're really They're a lot easier to swing now, and you can always upgrade later. And if not Bree, then you can just pick out what you want. We'll go from there. Sounds good? So let me just show you those real quick, and then you go here. Because I remember when I started, I felt like so weird. Like, okay, let me show you. They're like, I just want pieces. I'm like, well, let me show you the next set. They're like, but I just want to get this one piece. I'm like, but let me show you the set. You know, like I like felt so awkward. So this is something my manager's like, you just want to get comfortable with, like, oh yeah, absolutely. Some people like to pick out their own stuff. No problem. Like, if it's okay with you, I'd love to show you these real quick. I'll just run through them real fast. Because again, now when we go to this section, are you going to walk through each set and give the price for each set? Is that what you're doing? No, I want to review this. I covered this with Lorna yesterday. If you guys go to page 11, all right, there are 4 steps to showing the starter sets, all right? Because she's like, I'm like sitting there telling them every single price, and it just feels like forever. I was like, no. What you want to do is step 1. What does it tell you? What is step 1? Yeah, you show all of them. Cool. So step 1 is explain each set, you know, so I just like circle that here, but explain each set. All right. So you just walk through them real quick. So I'm like, so, hey, you know, Auntie Kayla, Uncle Bradley, these are the starter sets here. Okay. Let me show you guys. So this is the galley I was telling you guys about. All right. But here we go. So we've got the essential set. How do you know what comes in the set? Whatever's in the picture, except for the fruits and vegetables. Cool. How do you know how many table knives? It says +5. It says +4. This one said +6. So that's how you know. Or you can be like, has 4 table knives. Like it's in there. All right. So first one is your essential set, all right? So with the essential set, it comes with the air knife, and you guys want to learn, you want to get good at selling sets, learn your basic tools, cool? They're really simple, because that way you can give those nicknames, okay? So you're like, this one has the air knife, it has the one for the sandwiches, it has the turning fork, like serving piece, it has your meat knife for pineapples, and then it has your delicate chopper, cool? Comes with 5 table knives or without. This one has the air knife, and I always like to say that I showed you, like it has the air knife that we use. It has the small utility that we cut the tomato with. It has the one we cut the rope with, the pineapple, and then it has the sandwich one, which is amazing. So this comes with the 4 table knives or without, okay? This one here has the air knife that I showed you. It also has a larger paring knife. So this one actually, guys, comes with a 2 3/4, and it comes with a 4-inch paring knife. Cool. My mom loved that because she did do a lot of avocados, and in Florida, our avocados are huge. You've seen it before. So in the islands and in Florida, it's not the little Haas avocados that come from Mexico. It's like ginormous. So those are really nice for like the larger and even larger apples. So you have a small paring knife, you have a larger paring knife, you have the small utility trimmer that we cut the tomatoes with or the grapes with, you have the one we cut the rope with, the petite carver, the meat knife, and then you have your delicate chopper. Cool. This comes in this block that you can put on the counter, put it in the drawer, or even hang it on the wall. So it's really nice for like boats and campers. You know, a lot of people love that for boats and campers. And then this one right here is called the all knife set. This one has the air knife that we use. And I always like just grab them because you have those like major pieces. I'm like, it has an air knife that we used. It has a small utility that we use for the tomatoes. It has a sandwich one. It has a larger carver for like your turkeys and your roasts. It has your chopper, your chef. It comes in a tray and it comes with a sharpener. Cool. By the way, all these have a free cutting board, just so you know that. And then you have the kitchenette set. This one has the air knife I showed you, the small utility. It has the one we cut the rope with. It has the turning fork and the bread knife. This comes in a tray. And this here is more for people that already own. And I tell my customer this. I'm like, if they already own a set of Cutco or a nice set of Wusthof or Henkel's, or they do a lot of Oriental style cooking. Usually, guys, this is in people's first knife set they're buying because it's not your everyday tools. But for people that do more Oriental cooking, people who do more specialty cooking, a lot of Hispanics actually as well. This is fantastic. Add on to whatever current knife, whether Cutco or something else, to great add on to it. And so these are our gourmet pieces. It has our boning knife. Our boning knife is for deboning, deskinning, butterflying. I don't know. Have you guys ever had skirt steak? That's like a signature thing in Puerto Rico. It's called churrasco, and we cook it all the time. It's super fatty, super fatty. So my mom loved it because you can literally hold the fat, like all the white part, like hold it up, and it just glides through. It glides like butter. It's so good. butterflying pork chops, butterflying chicken. It's made for that. It's so good. So could you use a trimmer? You could. Trimmer's not made for it, but the trimmer's made to cover your basic things, right? If you don't have anything else. That's more, I tell them, like, that's made specialty for that. It's absolutely fantastic. You have the Hardy Slicer, right, which is one of the heavy duty knives, and that's for muscling through tough jobs. You have your vegetable knife, which is in the chef family, like chopping family. It's a wider blade. That's like, my husband likes the wider blade because he likes to transfer the ingredients when he chops them up, you know, into the pot. So it has that wider blade. You have the cleaver, that's Big Papa in the heavy duty family. So butcher's like the son, cleaver's Big Papa, all right, and then Hardy Slicer's like the tough mom, all right, but they're the heavy duty family. But this guy right here, pounding and tenderizing, it's a 1.2 pound knife, by the way. So if somebody's a hunter, huge. If someone's Hispanic and cooks whole pigs for the holidays, like my family does, you have that. All right. My ex was Filipino and they cooked whole pigs for like everything, every birthday, every holiday. They're like, oh, a celebration, let's get a pig. I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, you have the cleaver. All right. And by the way, for our vegans out there and vegetarians, it's phenomenal for coconuts and really harder shelled that you're trying to cut through. And then you have your santoku, which is also in the chopping family. That's called the celebrity knife. It's Rachel Ray's favorite knife is the sentoku style. It became very popularized 8 years ago, 2010. There was this whole craze. I remember my dad telling me, do you have the Rachel Ray knife? I'm like, what does that even mean? And he's like, the Rachel Ray knife. It comes like this and it has a point. So you can like, I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, santoku? He's like, yeah, that, I need it. I'm like, all right. But anyway, so that's your gourmet set. All right. So again, phenomenal set. It's usually an add-on when they already have good knives, or they buy it with Cutco, or they just do a lot of like Oriental style, a lot of veggie chopping, and heavier duty. You have that. So that's what you do. You show them all. Cool. So that's step one. What's step two? What does it say there? So Alex, read step two.
Out of these starter sets, which combination do you like the best?
Okay, cool. And they tell you, oh, I like, and I go, and this is how I do it. I'm like, hey, out of these combinations that I just showed you guys, I'm like, which one of these do you guys like the best? And they're like, oh, I like this one, or I like this one. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then step three, what does it say to do for step three?
Present price of favorite starter set only.
Got it? So again, we're not showing them every single price. They say, oh, I really like that, studio set. I'm like, all right, cool. And they're like, yeah, just the basic studio set. I'm like, all right, well, that one is $424. And so that's the next thing I'm writing here, only what the one they liked. So I'm like, that one's $424. And again, you don't have to pay for all at one time. The deposit would be $94. So you can try it out for 3 weeks. If you guys kept that on Easy Pay, you're basically putting aside $24 a week, which comes out to $12 each. Cool? Like, is that something you'd feel comfortable putting into the budget? And they're like, oh yeah, like that's like if they work, yes. But I'm like, is that something you guys would feel comfortable putting into the budget? And they're like, oh yeah, Kayla. And I'm like nodding my head. I'm like, well, by the way, with that, you can still get the scissors for free, which are like $120, so you can still do the scissors for free. And they're like, ooh, I'm like, or you can like get a fishing knife and a peeler if you want. Like, so as long, and here's another thing, we're going to go through bonus points in a minute. As long as it's like similar price, you can usually replace it. Cool? Okay. Gadgets, accessories, you can replace it. So if you're giving the scissors that are $120 and they rather do a fishing knife and a vegetable peeler, that's okay. Cool. It ends up around the same. Or a pocket knife and a cheese knife, like as long as it's about the same. If you don't reach us for any reason, you can sub stuff out. Like you want to get them what they're most excited about. All right. So again, make sure you take your time dropping down. Make sure you write down prices. And then once we get here, if they want to customize, then we're going to write down the stuff that they like. We're going to get prices and we're going to get a total. Cool. And then you're going to say, hey, I know that there's like different bundles and packages. I'm like, here's a price. I'm like, is this something are these pieces that you definitely want to get? Or is it something that you're like considering? And they're like, no, I definitely want those. All right. Or they're like, just so considering. And then when you call us, you say what? Hey, my customer is definitely buying these pieces. And then we'll show you. I think your mom was definitely buying certain pieces. And then I told Dee Dee, I'm like, hey, we have a Kick Butt Memorial Day special. And it's like $700 worth of stuff, or $780 actually, worth of stuff that they got for $499. So I told them like, hey, write down. And so whenever you do write a deal down for them, I like to write it right next to it because I like to show them like what they're spending and like the deal. Remember Livia Cardinat, she had called me and her customer was buying just a chef knife, right? She's like, that's all they wanted to do for right now. So she called me and said, hey, Kathy, my customer is definitely getting the chef knife. And I said, cool, did you write it down? So you should have this here. So chef knife, 136 for the petite chef. And I was like, so, whatever, with taxes and stuff, it'll end up being around 140. I said, cool. I said, hey, Livia, what one or two other pieces did she really like if I was able to give her something free? Okay. And I always want to know that. And sometimes you guys are like, oh, they loved everything. I'm like, okay, great. What one or two other things that they like the most if we gave her something free? And I said, ask her. She said, hey, if Cutco was free, what one or two other pieces did you possibly like if something was free? And she's like, oh, I love the trimmer knife and I love the spatula. I said, great. I said, do me a favor, write this down just so you can show them. All right. And I said, write down underneath the chef, you can put their add trimmer, get spatula free. All right. And so this was a huge deal to hook them up. But, if we added this, they're spending close to $200. And with my, 20 points per 100, I could do that. It's a little bit over, but I wanted to hook up their customer to start their collection. I said, so you can do that. I was like her aunt. I said, but by the way, to the right of it, write this down. I'm like, there's a package and it has the chef knife and it has the trimmer that she liked and it has the spatula spreader. Okay. And it has the paring knife and it has the larger carver and it has a tray and it has a cutting board and it has a sharpener. All right. And the scissors. And you also get the peeler. And by the way, if she wants to replace scissors peeler, she's able to basically pick $150 of free stuff if she wants to replace that. Cool. But this bundle right here, and this was like yours, but this bundle right here is actually over a $760 value. Okay. And you always want to write the value down. And I said, write down it's $760 value, cross that out. This would come out to $499. I said, and just show her this because she's almost paying a third of the price for the one knife. Okay. And with this deal, she gets that and the trimmer and the spatula and the paring and the carver and the tray, the cutting board and the sharpener and the scissors and the peeler, or she can replace it for $150 of different things. Cool. And the deposit, if she wants to try this out, write down next to it, the deposit for this comes out to $111. All right. So she's actually even spending less today and she's getting a crap ton more. I'm like, so see if she likes that. But if not, make sure she knows if she wants to do a buy one, get one on top of the chef knife because of how much she's spending, we can do that. And she called me right back. And she's like, my aunt wants to do that deal. All right. And so we ended up doing that, which was an all knife set with some additional like bigger, free stuff. So that happens all the time. I had a customer of mine who said, I just want to get the, and actually I want to have this for the guys. I had a customer of mine and she said, I just want the chef and the petite carver. That's it. Right. First she goes, okay, we finished the whole demo. She's like, no, I just want to get like one or two things. And she had like a new set of Henkels. And by the way, if you guys don't know Henkels, those are the other German ones, right? So it's Wusthof and Henkels. They're like sister companies. But anyway, she had a set of like with the two little men, she had some Henkels. And she's like, oh, I love my Henkels, whatever. And I said, okay, great. She's like, but this looks really good. I do want to try it. She's like, what's one knife that can do everything? I wanted to like punch her in the head. I'm like, did you not listen to like the last 30 minutes? But she's like, which knife can do everything? And I looked at her like she had three heads and I was like, none. I said, none can do everything. I said, if you really want to narrow it down to the two most common things people do would be slicing and chopping. Cool. So I would recommend to have at least a knife to like slice with and like cut meats and stuff and then have something to chop with. She's like, okay, what do you recommend? I'm like, these are chopping knives. I'm like, these are, the trimmer or the petite carver. I'm like, I'd probably do that one. It's our medium, like larger utility. It's so you can go like a little bit bigger stuff, a little bit smaller stuff. I'm like, that's what I'd recommend, but it's totally up to you. I'm like, trimmer or petite carver. I was like, and these are a chopping knife. She's like, okay, I want the chef knife and the petite carver. I was like, cool. So I write it down and I'm like, hey, so chef retails $134, you know, the petite carver, and I get the price. I'm like, that comes out to, that's $106. So that comes out to $240. So like with, you know, tax, it'll be around $250. All right. And she's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I want to get those. And by the way, she had already bought good quality. When they have good quality, guys, they know prices. It's not a big deal, you know? And she was just like, okay, yeah, I want to get those too. And I said, hey, by the way, can I show you how you can get some free stuff? You know, cause she was the whole way down. She was like, I just want to get a piece. I'm like, all right. I said, can I show you how you can get some free stuff? What do you think a person's going to say?
Yeah.
No free stuff. No free stuff, please. All right. So I was like, hey, can I show you how you can get some free stuff? And she goes, yeah. All right. And maybe for you guys, be like, can I call to see what free stuff you can get? You know, because you guys are newer, and call us and you'll learn how to go through this. But I said, there's actually a package, like there's a bundle that has and I asked them, I said, what if something was free? And I know her husband loved the spatula, and he loved the scissors too. He's like, we need these scissors. How do we get these scissors for free? And I was like, well, I'm like, there's actually a bundle that has the chef knife. I said, and it has the petite carver. I said, and it has the scissors. All right. It has the spatula. It has the paring knife. And it has the turning fork. I said, it also comes with a block. It also comes with the cutting board. And also you can do a peeler. Cool. So chef, petite carver, scissors, spatula, paring, turning fork, block, cutting board, peeler. I said, so this right here, this value of all this stuff, and again, we'll tell you guys this stuff because you might not have that yet. All right. But this is actually $790 value. Okay. And I told them, I said, so the package actually comes out to $533. I said, I just wanted to show you that because you're already paying half the price for just the two. So you get a lot more for your money. And this one, the deposit, if you guys wanted to try this one out, the deposit would come out to $118 deposit. Cool. That would be your deposit today. I said, and then you guys can call and pay it off, because she was like, I'm paying in full. I said, you could call and pay it off. I go, or if you wanted to, you can do our easy pay. And basically you're putting aside about $30 per week, you know, which would be $15 each. And she was like, we don't need to do that, you know, but yeah, I always like to show it. And I said, so you could do that, or you can call and pay it off. And she was like, okay. And then she's like, and then her husband goes, wait, what do we get? And I showed him everything. And I'm like, you get this one, you get this, you get this, you get this, and these other ones here. And he's like, for how much? And I was like, this much. And he's like, so I'm like, yeah, I just wanted to show you because you're paying half the price for two knives, and here you're getting so much more for your money. And he's like, let's do that. And she was like, yeah, let's do that. All right. And by the way, what they bought was a basic essentials with free scissors and a free peeler. All right. But there's just, when you have the packages, and when you get more for your money. All right. So knowing that, so I can go on and on, but just make sure you guys, you know, write down what they like at the price, you know, like, is that something, I'm like, is that something that you would want to get today? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, hey, can I show you how you can get free stuff? I'm like, let me call my manager to see what deals with this. Or you guys go into your book, you know, if they're buying two, what can you always say? Buy a third, get a fourth free. All right. Get that in your brain always. They can always buy 3 items and get a fourth for free. Cool. What do you give for free? The cheapest thing. Cool. So they can always buy 3 items and get a fourth for free, no matter what the heck it is, as long as they're getting the cheapest thing for free. All of our sets are buy 3, get 1 free. All of our gift sets are buy 3, get 1 free. Individual pieces, buy 3, everything's buy 3, get 1 free. So if they ever show you, Bree, I like these 2, I want to get these 2, you say, okay, great. And then let them know, hey, just so you know, if you buy a 3rd piece, I think you can actually get a 4th piece for free. So I don't know if you finish, and right now, if I'm you, I would be saying, I don't know if you finish your Father's Day shopping, but you could even add like a fishing knife and get a pocket knife for free. And they're like, oh my God, what a great idea. Because they might not be thinking about that at that moment where you're showing them kitchen stuff. So bring that up and say, hey, you could even buy a pocket knife, get a pocket knife free, and you got, boom, two of your Father's Day gifts knocked out, you know? So make sure that you guys bring that up. But on sales, that's something that I always do. All right. So everyone good? All right, awesome. So drop down slowly, take your time, write stuff down. All right. Number 4, handle objections properly. All right, handle objections properly. So this is really, really important as you guys are going through. All right. So if you guys look in your packet, you actually have a sheet for this in your packet. All right, handling objections. And I want, let's see here, who can read out loud for me? All right, I'm gonna start volunteering on you guys. All right. So Beth Ann, start us off on handling objections.
Objections show interest, and objections are good. We are all taught to never take the first deal from our parents. You never take the first price of the necklace off the street in Mexico. You haggle, and your customers are willing to haggle with you and get a good price and a good deal. And this is what we're going to teach you today.
All right. Jesse, go ahead, take over.
Although the manual is designed to handle objections before they come up, it's important to know how to handle them properly when you do hear them. So when you're in an argument or an opposing side of conversation, what comes up? A wall. Key to life, you must bring down the wall first.
Okay, so this is huge, right? Human beings, if I don't agree with them, I'm like, no, but, and you're like, you go, you're trying to get your point across versus like, oh, I totally see where you're coming from, or I totally understand. People usually don't say that. They're like, you're wrong. This is what's right, So this is a life skill, by the way, learning how to really, this will help you have better relationships, better conversations, conflict management, and obviously it'll help you in all different parts of your sales. But it's the method of how to get your point across without having someone's walls go up, okay? So whatever point you're trying to get across, if you do this, and when you say agree, you're not agreeing with what they say. You're just seeing, hey, I can totally see how you'd feel that way. Hey, I can totally see where you're coming from. Like seeing their side, all right? So making sure that you guys always like understanding, where they are. So if a wife tells me, oh, I need to ask my husband. Am I going to go, well, you can't make decisions on your own? All right. No. All right. I'm going to say, hey, I totally understand. I know a lot of couples like to make decisions together, however, I'm like, we actually have our, 4th part of the guarantee. We call it our husband back guarantee, where you can try it out for 3 weeks. And after the 3 weeks, if he doesn't like it, you can send him back. All right. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, you can send the knives back. You get 100% of your money back. All right. And they just like laugh. Like I like to make them laugh. So I didn't come up with that. I stole it from someone. I'm really good at stealing people's stuff. I'm like, oh, I like that. I'm gonna steal it. All right. And then implementing it. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's called our husband back guarantee. You have 3 weeks to use it. I'm like, worst case, he doesn't like it, send him back. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm like, you can send the products back. You get 100% of your money back. So that way you're not making a decision without him. You guys are getting a chance to use it together and decide on what you like together. I'm like, is $120 100% refundable deposit something you'd feel comfortable knowing that you'd have the chance to get your money back? Or something like, do you think he'd get upset about you putting down 100% refundable security deposit, or is that something you'd feel comfortable with? And then you guys can check it out together, see how you like it, and then go from there. They're like, yeah, okay. If someone's like, oh, that's too many pieces. I'm like, did you not listen to like everything I just told you? They're used for different. No, you're like, hey, I can totally understand. I'm like, I know there's different tools for different jobs. And before I learned how to use them, I'm like, I didn't really know. And you can use whether it's shoes or golf clubs. Those are great analogies. But I'm like, golf clubs. I'm like, I play putt-putt, or like, I go to Top Golf. I use one club the whole time. I was like, but my friend actually golfs, and there's different, clubs for different things. If you're like chipping, if you're putting, if you're like, rain, whatever, going to driver. So there's different things. I don't play golf. But if you go out to play golf and you have like just one, they're looking at you like, you crazy? All right. Because there's a right tool for the right job. And it's the same thing. I'm like, but what I found is that so it's like what I found or what I've seen, and that's where like the telling the truth. I'm like, but what I found is that a lot of customers, when they start using it, like my mom was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to use all that. And then she ended up upgrading to a complete set. But they end up being like, oh my, like it's so much easier when you use the right tool for the right job, so shoes are to protect your feet. But I wouldn't go running in these. All right. I wouldn't do the morning workout I did today. Wouldn't have done them in these shoes. All right. So there's a right tool for the right job. I'm like, so. And then you ask again, or you always ask again. I'm like, so would you be comfortable putting down 100% refundable deposit, trying it out for 3 weeks and just seeing what you like? I'm like, worst case, you can send back any individual pieces that you feel you won't use, and they'll actually refund you the full amount, even though the set is discounted, because they know you're paying a couple bucks shipping. Cool. So just so you guys are aware of that, even though the signature, when they buy it as a set, they're saving like $300. All right. If they send back any individual pieces, they get the full retail of that individual piece. That's how the company does it. Cool. Because they're spending money on shipping to send it in. Company gives them full retail value of that tool. So I'm like, are you willing to try it out for free for 3 weeks and see how you like it? Worst case, send it back. You get 100% retail on that back. All right. So if you guys look here, by the way, you've been doing this your whole life and you didn't even know, like it's the way you get what you want. All right. When you're like a little kid, Mom, can I have a cookie? And she's like cooking dinner. She's like, no. I'm like, Mom, you're going to spoil it. Mom, I know you think I'm going to spoil my dinner, but if I promise I eat all my dinner, can I just please have half a cookie, please? You know, she's like, half a cookie. And like, if you don't eat your dinner, you never have cookies again. All right. Or then you get to high school and you're like, Mom, I know it's a school night, all right, but there's this like really big party and like it's the end of the year, and like if you talk to the parents, like they're gonna be there, and if I'm home by midnight and I don't play sick tomorrow, please can I go, please, you know? And it's like I need to talk to the mom, you know, whatever. And then you get to college, and you're like, I know we just met, but I just feel we have this connection, you know? I'm just kidding, but. Whenever you get what you want, you're always like, hey, I know this, I get this, but, you know, it's the however, but, and then you talk logically, and then you ask again. All right. So on the bottom here, guys, again, it gives you examples, you know, like when they say with Kako, like if they're like, oh no, or whatever they say, like, what is it that they're unsure about? Is it price? Is it pieces? Like you want to know that, right? So if it's too expensive, I'm like, oh, is it like the whole price, or is that not a deposit that you feel comfortable with? Okay. Make sure you write. And that's why I love breaking this down, because anyone who works can do that. It's just, is that something they want to do today or not? Cool. And if they don't want to do that, no problem. We're going to drop down. Closing a sale is all about finding your customer's comfort zone, you know? So we're just going to drop down and find whatever is best for them today. And when they're ready, we're going to upgrade them. But you got to take your time dropping down properly, because I'll tell you right now, you're going to lose a lot of business. Our CSPs love new guys that suck at dropping down. They make their living off of it, by the way, because all they do is upgrade people all day. They like our Cutco sales professionals, most of them only like to see people that have Cutco, that you've already done the prep work for them, because once someone has a couple things, they love it and they upgrade the crap out of them. They'll see someone that has 3 pieces, upgrade them to a complete set, upgrade them to a signature. They do upgrades all day. That's what they love. So they're all about seeing people. So do your job right, so they don't take your customers when they go meet them at the gun show or wherever and like, yeah, I have a couple things, and they're like, oh, you only have a couple things? Let me show you why you need these. And then boom, they upgrade them. So get comfortable, get to know your stuff. Take your time dropping down so you can find what's best for them that day. All right. So it shows you too many pieces. You know, I already said these out loud, talk to the husband. All right. They need to feel comfortable. All right. And so what I found, the deposit program makes them feel more comfortable, because again, it's 100% refundable. They don't have to spend anything today. So that's something I was taught, instead of saying 5-pay, just referring to the deposit as 100% refundable deposit, so they can just try it out, just see what they think, and then go from there. Okay. So that's something that'll help you guys out a lot. So on the bottom, it says, you know, you have nothing to lose. Worst case scenario, they still say no, but at least it gives you a chance when you handle objections properly. Cool. So just so you guys know that. So unless a customer straight up tells you, no, Cutco's a piece of junk, I would never want to own it, there's a shop for a sale. And so even if they said no at first, at least half of those end up purchasing, you know, so give them a shot. They needed a better deal. Maybe they didn't get to the, like their comfort zone, right? Everyone buys at different times. So just know that. All right. You want to make sure you bring down that wall, see where they're coming from, and then show them a cool deal. All right. Number five, make deals. All right. Make deals. So people love deals. All right. By the way, being brand new, I'm going to tell you guys right now, if I'm you, this is what I recommend to everyone who's starting off. I would be calling from every single sale till you're at least 30,000. Cool. Like if I'm you, like utilize the coaching, utilize them doing the work for you. And by the way, you get really good at it quick. All right. If you're calling them from every demo and they're helping and they're coaching you through those sales, you start learning how to really be great at closing those sales. And then beyond that, it's up to you. But I remember Adriano, he was at like 58,000. He had won a call. He'd still call. He's a K-cap. My customer's looking at this. They're definitely getting this or considering this. And I'm like, dude, you know what to do. He's like, cool. That's awesome. He's like, I'm like, why do you call me? And he's like, I just like calling you because sometimes I forget about stuff or sometimes you say things and I'm like, oh yeah, and he's like, and sometimes I just like it because for the customer, I don't want them to haggle with me. So if I call the office and give them a deal from the office, then like, that's all I'm allowed to do. I don't want them haggling with me. And I was like, all right, I get it. But he'd always call in, so, but use the office. Even Taylor, last summer, she called Randy Excellent from her demos. All right. Billy, who sold over $50,000 from every, you call Randy. All right. Our guys call him to close sales, call Billy. Billy calls Randy to close sales. All right. But utilize the people above you so they can really help you in success. All right. So let's review bonus points. If you guys go to the next sheet in your packet, it goes through bonus point explanation. All right. So if you guys look at this, we can start reading from the top. Didi, can you start reading, please?
Effective use of bonus points is the key to making lots of sales. Using bonus properly will accomplish 4 primary goals. Number 1, a customer gets a great deal, no more cut. Cause more cut. Okay. Turn potential no sales into sales. Increase your average sales, thus income. 4, get more recommendations.
All right. So by the way, you don't just like give free stuff just to give it away. It's not like at the mall, they're just like, oh, you bought something? Oh, pick something free. They use it to make the sale higher or to buy today, right? They're like, oh, if you spend over $50 today, you get a free bag. If you spend over $100, you get a free, like whatever little pack, or like it's an incentive to buy more today. Or to just buy today versus later. Because if you get it today we're having an extra 10% off, right? So it's an incentive to get it today, all right? So just so you guys are aware of that. So you go through, and so this gives you a chart, cool? And I already told you guys know it's 20 per 100, all right? But if you're not sure, this is an easy place to look at, if it's between 100 and 199, and this is a little extra, by the way. This is to make a deal. So you guys notice these go a little bit over in some cases, but to make a deal, that if the order's between these levels, you can use those points. And then again, 20 points per 100. So guys, an easy thing is divide by 5. Cool. Whatever they're buying, divide by 5, because that's 20%. That's the 20 to 100 range. Is just write that note next to it. If you're like bad at math, you get scared, whatever they're buying, if they like and I'm like, okay, they like $714 of stuff, and I'm on a demo, I know that if they're buying $714 worth of stuff, if I divide by 5, I know I can give them $142 free. Cool. Or actually, you can give them 142 points for free. So I always tell them, I talk to them in dollars. But if you needed to, you could do 142 points for free. All right. And then it tells you guys, put a star next to it. It says on orders over 200, you can give 10 or 20 more to make the sale. So meaning if bless you, Kayla, so if it took me giving you that you wanted a fishing knife and a pocket knife for free, and maybe it was 160 points, or is it okay if I do that? Yeah. All right. So especially as the orders are, if you go a little bit over, that's okay. All right. So it says here, the next thing says you don't have to use all your bonus points each time, okay? So the goal is not to use them all. The goal is to use them effectively. The goal is to use them to upsell orders. The goal, probably about 10 minutes, I didn't know what you were doing, but about 10 minutes, okay?
So we're about to start posting.
Okay, but I do need you in 10 minutes. So as you go through here, all right, so great things to offer. It gives you guys, so it's just, are you effectively using these points, all right? Are you doing it to maximize your sales? So by the way, that's another reason why we always like to know, are they considering or are they definitely getting it, okay? Because when we're doing deals for you guys, all right, if we want to know, how are we utilizing these points? Because if they were already getting the homemaker and you were giving them scissors for free and they already said yes to that, do I need to offer them more free stuff with that? No. I'll say, hey, if they get the signature set, I'll give them $400 free, because that means, by the way, is that a win for you? Is that a win? To be like, I don't want to give that much free stuff. Well, let's just say your homemaker with the free scissors, was $10.50, all right, net sale that you gave or whatever it is. But then we did like a signature and $400 of free stuff. And let's say that net sale was $14.50. It's like, well, what do you prefer? Like, I prefer this. All right. So whenever we're doing deals, we're doing it as a win-win. Better for the customer, better for you. All right. So you guys see here, it gives you like just great things that you can offer for free. These are all really good things to give away for free, and people really love it, or anything else they really like, as long as it follows the bonus points. So rules. All right. You can only give free stuff if they place an order when? What does it say? On the first call. Because guys, it's a reason to buy today. All right, it's a reason to buy today. Now, this is very important. If you go back to someone who didn't buy it on the first time, you cannot give them free stuff. If they own Cutco already, you can. It's the only thing is if they own Cutco, they always get discounts. They always get free stuff, okay? But if they didn't buy the first time, you can't go back and give them free stuff, all right? Because if somebody got upset, by the way, you could get into big trouble for false advertising. That's illegal, by the way, false advertising. Because if someone else goes, wait a second, you told me that if I got it today, I got this free stuff. That's why I got it today. But then my sister, or I heard my friend, she didn't buy anything at first. Then you went back and she got the free stuff. I thought that I was getting, and so basically you're being a liar and you're falsely advertising and marketing, So I let them know, like, if they really like it, I'm like, hey, if you get any one piece today, it puts you in the system. It reserves your first call. What that means is I can always give you deals and free stuff in the future. Cool. So if they really like Cutco, and that goes down to when you're like reserving a first call special, I always ask them, did you like Cutco? Is it something you might want to get later? And they're like, if for sure I know they're a no. And I'm like, is it something that you might want to get later? I'm like, hey, if they say yes, I'm like, cool. I'm like, well, hey, I definitely recommend getting any one piece to put you in the system, because once you're in the system, you're in as a preferred customer, you always get deals and discounts. So you can get those Memorial Day specials like 3 weeks from now. If you're already in the system, you kind of lock those deals in. And they're like, oh, okay. So that's how they can lock it in. Sounds good? All right. And the other thing it says there, what? Order must be how much to get something free? Over $100. Okay. So, and then it says ask and you will receive, building up an order. All right. Alex, can you read that part for me, please?
You can also increase your overall sales volume substantially by learning how to build up an order. It's one of the simplest and most effective selling techniques since the customer has already decided to buy something. What you can do now is suggest other things that might be added to the order, things that the customer really liked during your presentation. Learn to watch for items that really appeal to your customer during the presentation. Then remind them later of what they liked. Remember the old saying, there's no harm in asking.
Cool. So yeah, just keep a lookout. Because even at the end, I'm like, hey, I know you like that hunting knife. I'm like, if you added that hunting knife to the order you're getting, like let's say they were buying a homemaker. I'm like, if you added the hunting knife, you could actually get the fishing knife for free. And they're like, oh, really? So I know on orders over $1,000, I can always do a buy one, get one free. Actually, on orders over 500, I already know that. And that's why I had told you, even if they were going to buy the stuff, I'm like, well, you can buy one, get one, or someone else that I was talking to, but you can add on, to the order, as long as it follows the bonus point rules. Okay. This is really huge. Last thing that I want to show you guys with this, and by the way, don't forget about your first weekend specials. I know, they were just for first weekend. We're extending them through the whole week, so you guys can use those anytime this week. There's also Memorial Day specials that I'll be posting in the group meets today, so just so you guys are aware of that. But yeah, I know you're seeing a lot of people that well. I know some people had to reschedule, and so we are extending those first weekend specials for you guys, so you can still use those, and those are amazing. And that is the best deal that they're going to get, period. Cool. So just so you guys know that. So I want to talk about the trade-in special. It's the last tip I'm going to give today, and then we're going to transition into schedules and lunch jam. Cool. Right now is prime time lunch jam. It's 11:10 a.m. And we'll make calls and we'll be meeting with you guys. We'll be doing schedules, but take advantage of this time. So last sales tool, by the way, biggest sales tool for me outside of the deposit program. Like these were the two biggest game changers for me, was when I started using deposit program instead of 5Pay, like just renaming it and telling customers, hey, you can put a deposit, try it out, see how you like it, and then go from there. Like that helped me close so much more often. And then the trade-in special. So guys, trade-in special, before you don't turn the page, look at me. All right. Are you guys aware that if you go to a car dealership today, you can trade in your car at the dealership and get credit towards your next vehicle? Are you guys all aware of that? All right. Why do they do that? Okay. because you could say, well, I already have a car, right? So they're acknowledging like, hey, we know you have a car, but we know you want that new one. So if you trade in your vehicle, we'll give you credit for your car. And that way you can get into your newer vehicle now versus waiting until yours falls apart completely. All right. So it's a reason to get it now versus later. They give you credit with yours so that you can make the switch out because you want to do that switch. Be like, oh, my car still works. And they're like, hey, we'll give you. I remember like when I bought my first BMW back in 2006, I had my beat up Civic that I bought with my money, but it had been through like a lot. It was two-tone because of the sun and accidents, you know, like not on purpose. But this thing, I'm like, oh my God, it was such a piece of crap. It was like falling apart, you know, in BMW, I was like, well, it still runs, you know, and I would have kept running it until it literally stopped. I was like, it still runs, you know, and they were like, we're going to give you $2,500. There's no way you'd sell that for $2,500. And for sure, I would not have. No, we're going to be $2,500. I was like, to get rid of it. And you can get into your BMW today. And I was like, fine. And I ended up doing that. All right. So that's what the trade-in special is. Cool. So this is the last tip of today is the trade-in special. So this is great for anybody who already has good knives, who's seen someone who's like, oh, I already have good knives, right? Like they have right now. By the way, I remember I sold a complete set with the trade-in special. Like right after I learned this, I saw a customer and I remember Anna and James Hayden was doing the demo and they had like a really nice set of Woo stuff, like the black, like they had the really good stuff. And they cooked all the time. But like our stuff was better, you know? And I was like, when we went through junk knives and stuff, I mentioned like, hey, you have Woo stuff. I'm like, those are fantastic. I'm like, but they do have to be sharpened every time they're used. They're not made to put in the dishwasher. And eventually, Anna, you will replace them eventually. And she goes, oh, I know. I hate sharpening them. She's like, it's such a pain. She's like, I feel like they're never as sharp as when I first got them. You know, because again, if they didn't get knife sharpening classes, most people have no idea how to do that. They dull them more than sharpen them. Okay. It's only the chefs who've actually been to school and know, because literally a little angle off and you're hurting them more than helping them. So, but she was like, oh, but ours are still good. So at the end I close and she's like, I really like it. She's like, but she's like, our knives are still okay. We can still like, she's like, you know, I definitely want Cutco when we're ready to replace. She's like, but we're still okay for right now. Right, honey? And James was like, he's just sitting there waiting. And then I said, well, by the way, I'm like, we have something like, you know, you can trade in a car at a dealership. I'm like, we have something called a trade-in special. I said, how much do you think you'd get for your Woo stuff set right now? Like if you sold it at a garage sale or something. She's like, I don't know, maybe like $10, $20 a knife. She's like, definitely not what I paid for them. And I was like, okay. I said, well, how about if I told you that if you traded your stuff in, you could actually on the complete set, you could save like $350, or you could pick out $700 of whatever you want in accessories, outdoor stuff, fishing, hunting, whatever you want, and you never have to replace any of that again. I'm like, is that something that might interest you? And her husband's like, wait, huh? So if we trade in our stuff, he goes, what do you guys do with it? I'm like, your stuff is good. I said, so your stuff will be donated to somebody. I was like, everything's donated. It goes to charity. I said, some people donate stuff that's falling apart, so it's recycled. I said, so it's either going to be recycled or donated based on if it can be reused. Cool. And he was like, okay, great. I said, do you think you'd get $700 for it? She's like, no. I'm like, so you'd get $700 of whatever you want for free or a $350 discount. And then she was like, and her husband did the sale for me. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And he goes, honey, let me ask you something. Did you like Cutco? And she goes, yes. And he goes, is this what you want later when we're ready to like buy new knives? And she goes, for sure. He goes, cool. Once we buy them, how long are we going to have them? And Anna's like, forever? Like, is this a trick question? He's like, yes, forever. They're guaranteed forever, right? So once we buy them, we're going to have them forever. And he goes, Kathy, can I ask you something? He goes, I'm assuming as inflation and everything, like prices go up. I'm like, this guy's awesome. I need him on every demo. But I was like, yes, sir. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I figured. I go, every 2 years, actually, our prices go up. He goes, okay. So whenever we're ready to buy this, it's going to cost more. Whenever we buy them, we're going to have them forever. He's like, we might as well just get them now. He's like, donate the stuff. Let's pick out all the stuff that we need and let's just get it. And she was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, I think we should get it. And I was just like, And he goes, let's do it. He's like, get the white ones. He's like, they're beautiful. He goes, by the way, Kat, you did a great job. He's like, I loved it. He's like, your head nod, you're this. And he was like in sales, but he was like, it makes sense. It's practical. Like for him, it was logical. And he was just like, honey, like, let's just get them. And I was like, can you come on all my appointments with me? But he got it, you know, but that trade-in, like that's what closed that deal. And their stuff was still good. But I know that if they have blue stuff, unless they're a chef, like they struggle with it all the time. Like it's not as sharp because it's not made for the average mom. It's made for chefs. It's targeted to people who actually cook and know how to sharpen their knives. And if they take care of them properly, they can last 10 years, you know, but eventually, regardless, they will replace them. Okay. So if you guys turn to the last page of your packet here, you have the 2018 Secret Weapon. All right. And this was my bread and butter. All right. So this is our secret weapon. So I'm going to go through this and then we can role play it and then you can dive into phone jam, lunch jam. So I want to make sure before, by the way, we planned it in the time you guys were here that before everybody leaves, you want to make at least 20 phone calls. Cool. Just rip through 20 calls and see who you catch. A lot of people are on lunch break right now. All right. So you'll catch people and book up. The goal is because you book up 2 more appointments before you leave here today. And ideally same day. Some of you guys still haven't booked up your day today. So when you're on the phone, say, I know this is really last minute, but I'm still trying to get 2 more today. Is there any chance you guys are available later on this evening, you know, or are later on this afternoon or this evening? Like Bradley was making calls this morning and booked a 4 o'clock for today. All right. So don't be afraid to ask for an immediate appointment. So say, hey, I know it's really last minute, but is there any chance you might be able to squeeze me in last minute today? So I love the phrase. And if you guys don't use it, I love the phrase that's in your manuals on the bottom of page 35. And it says, hey, I know you're probably really busy, but I need to do blank appointments by blank. Those who have been to my SLDM. So Alex, you were at my SLDM, and anyone who's listening who's been to my SLDM, I taught you guys the my phone phrase, right? Where you're just like, hey, I know this is really last minute, but in order to hit my goal, like that's what you should be using. Cool. This is a mini version of that. But anytime it's like, don't be afraid to say, hey, I know it's short notice. Hey, I know it's last minute, but I actually hadn't hit my goal for today. Want to see if there's any chance you could squeeze me in last minute at blank time, or would blank time be better? Okay. And offer those times. So trade-in special, and you guys are going to role play it with your neighbor. All right. It tells you guys here, I already explained it to you guys. So this is people who say the price is too high, or they're not sure, or their knives are fine right now. All right. Trade-in verbiage. Alex, go ahead and read that.
If I read the, so you like it, okay. So you like it, but the price is too high.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Mrs. Jones, we do have a special I think you'll really like then. Here, how's it work? It's kind of like when you go to a dealership and you want to buy a car, but you already have a working car. Well, what do they let you do with your car? Yeah, trade it in.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here with your knives. What you can do is trade in a few of your old knives and we give a major discount on a set of Cutco. So instead of
whatever price, you can get the set for only blank. This is a savings blank. Or, and guys, get excited, all right? And you guys can write this. I forgot to mention this with deals and bonus points. Write this on the top of this paper. This is not just for this. Is anytime you call, anytime you talk to any manager in the office, anytime they give you a deal, write this down. Free stuff is always better than discount. All right? Free stuff is always better than discount. Cool? Super important for you guys to know that. Discount is always better than free stuff. So what do you want them to pick? The free stuff. So I'm like, so you could get this. So when I present, I get my nonverbals. I'm like, so if you got this, you know, with the complete set, you could actually save $450, or you could pick out $650 of whatever you want for free. And they're like, ooh, all right. And that's the one with the steak knife. So if you guys look here, and since you can keep showing them this, it has like for each set, it tells you the discount or the free stuff that you can offer. Cool. It tells you that for each set right next to the name of the set. If they pick free stuff, how do you write it out? Anyone, quick, how do you write it out? Write up your order, and what do? Exit out. All the free stuff, you exit out. That's it. That's how you write it up with the free stuff. How do you write up the discount? It tells you here how to write up the discount, okay? So it shows you what you're charging for and what you're Xing out if they do the discount. So the reason free stuff is always better than discount, because when you get a discount, guys, you are giving them free stuff, all right? Because what we're doing is we're not charging them for all of it. we're charging them for partial and we're giving partial for free. That's how we get the discount, okay? So you don't need to worry about ins and outs in that. Just know that if it's free, and free stuff is better. X those out, and if not, use a discount. By the way, Joel Feliz left my training. He had 1 for 6 sales when he learned this. He had sold a fishing knife. He sold 3 homemakers back to back. 2 with the free stuff, 1 with the discount. Stephanie Gaff left, sold a galley, sold a homemaker. I was telling you guys about Jose. When Jose learned this, he had sold like about $700 or so in his first 5 or 6 demos. But after he learned this that week, he sold over $5,000. He actually got to a 6K fast start using this. And he was like, this is the best thing ever. And he was like, Callie traded, this trading, like it was like the trading man every single demo. He's like, they're trading in this, they're trading in that. I'm like, you can sell without a trade. He's like, no, they love it. But the fact is he loved it, but his enthusiasm, he was excited, and he closed sales on like every demo. So his closing was about 80% that week, and he crushed it. And he went from selling $700 in his first 3 days to selling $5,300 until Monday, and hitting $6,000 for his fast start and making $1,000 in his pocket. Cool. So this was huge for me. When I learned this helped me sales through the roof in my fast start. I told you guys when I started, my sales were lower. This helped me finish an $8,600 fast start. And in my first 3 days, I had sold $1,100. And right around there, and it was like a lot of little things. And after this, that's when I started closing a lot more set sales. Cool. So we're going to role play this so you guys can go through this with your neighbor. So what I want you guys to do, we're going to go real quick, is you close on the homemaker. All right. So just write 4,000 on your sheet, like you finished the page 8. So you just said, hey, you're talking over 4,000. Go to page 9. I want you guys to say, hey, it's not 4,000. It's not this. And hey, ask for the order, and then partner, be like, I don't know if we should do that all right now, or say, oh, my knives are okay right now. And then I want you guys to introduce this. Cool. And when they show you this, you go, oh yeah, I'll take it. All right. And then swap. So you guys can get a feel for that. All right. So let's look at that, and then we'll dive into phone jam. All right.